Hello, everybody. The topic for today is going to be language learning and learners' autonomy. So, first of all, we're going to discuss why learning strategies are important. As you know, they are useful to enhance your own learning, and basically, they are tools or steps that help you to be self directed and active in your learning process. Direct and indirect are the main characteristics of the taxonomy of Rebecca Oxford. Direct refers to involving the target language, and indirect supports and manages language, but is not the main focus all the time. As for the features of language learning strategies, we know that they contribute to the main goal, can be taught, and are flexible. This allows learners to develop some autonomy because often they are consciously selected. Learners become more self centered and could be on direct and indirect learning.
Direct strategies require mental processing of the language in memory, such as creating meta-languages into long-term memory and repeating information when you need. Cognitive analysis and reasoning are used for producing messages in the target language, and composition when a language task is beyond their reach to make up for incompetence in the target language so as to continue the communication, can monitor their progress and achievements. In communicative strategies, you can do practice, formal exercise in spelling and pronunciation, and combination of structured exercise in natural way to communicate. Also, you can do using of various sources and analysis and reasoning, for example, deduction thinking, translation, and upside language transfer. In compensation strategies, you can do using linguistic and another pointers, for example, use pictures or text structure, and overcoming limitation in speaking and reading. You can do using native language, asking for help, using gestures, and using synonyms or descriptions.
The effective strategies enable learners to control feelings such as confidence, motivations, and attitudes related to language learning. The social strategies, such as asking questions and cooperation with others, facilitate interaction with others, often in a discourse situation. The metacognitive strategies help learners to regulate their learning through planning, arranging, focusing, and evaluating their own learning process. Although many factors might influence the degree to which and the way in which language learners use specific strategies, generally speaking, they will apply all the different strategies depending on their cultural and ethnic background, personality, gender, proficiency, language learning purpose, cognitive style, the task at hand, etc.
So for today's strategies, we have memory, which most of the times consists on grouping or using imagery, like memoramas, cognitive, which consists of reasoning, and compensation, which most of the times consists of guessing or using synonyms.
Strategies are especially important for language learners because they are tools for active, self-directed involvement, which is essential for developing communicative competence.
What learning strategies are most helpful? By Academy of Learning Career College. What learning strategies are most helpful depends partly on the task. Thus, the first question to ask is, what is the goal of the task? What is helpful for simply remembering information is different than what is helpful for evaluating or creating information, and so choosing a strategy depends on what the learner needs to do. However, based on the memory model introduced in the section entitled How Does Human Memory Work?, we can see that effective learning strategies will help learners to either encode information or retrieve it, or sometimes both. An important thing to note is that good learning strategies do not always make learning seem easier. Learning strategies that make learning seem easier, like reading, often do not help learners remember and use that information later. More often, learning strategies that seem a little more difficult are more effective for long-term learning. This is what educational psychologists call desirable difficulties. Effective strategies are both active and effortful on the part of the learner, and that can make learning seem difficult.
Learning strategies are very helpful. They will let you overcome barriers or reduce anxiety and increase your self-efficacy.